Hello, everyone. With the State of the Union Ask Obama campaign, I submitted about 28, 30 questions. Some got votes, some didn't. The ones that got votes, I honestly was surprised at. I was thinking that some of the more thought out, less aggressive questions would be voted on, but actually it's the ones that kind of had an air of, you know, anger in them. Um, And then it's over now as far as accepting questions and votes. And I sorted through them by popularity for every category. And the ones that were probably the first like 5, 10 pages were all on marijuana. Like all of them were on marijuana. And that kind of surprised me. But at the same time, like now looking back, it's kind of crazy that I was surprised. It's like in the media they portray it as though Americans are for it but not active about it. But it seems that it's actually a greater percentage than you would think are actually for legalization. And I'm sure only one question from those 10 pages or so will be given to the president, and probably the one that makes it not as well. You guys know what I mean. But anyway, it just dawned on me like the media just suppresses the truth of it all, and the people who would vote on it are kind of, I won't say stonewalled, but there's a perception that it's just not going to make it because not enough people will do it. But every time I've seen something that asks the community or the population of America to vote on something, the question that they want answered is specifically about marijuana legalization, not decriminalization, not medical marijuana, but legalization. Um, Usually the reason being money, prison time, things of that nature. But it's just amazing to me that you know things like this happen. But at the same time, it makes me realize why newspaper and magazine and basically printed news and even eventually televised news will eventually change. I think in 10 years, all of our news stations will probably be on a site similar to YouTube or something. I don't think people want to watch something where it's controlled by some company and they are choosy about what goes on air and they only show a side of the story, but they don't show the whole truth of or the reality of it. And I applaud certain programs like Marijuana Inc. and Marijuana USA, etc. on I think it's MSNBC. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but it shows that we really want something, but we're at the precipice of where we'll actually fight for it. So it's almost as if we're at that breaking point, and I really, really believe that President Obama says from here on out will be very crucial, and that probably relates back to why he focused on everything he wanted accomplished before he talked about jobs, because now I don't really think America wants to hear about anything except jobs. So even though marijuana is so important, even the people who are for marijuana legalization I think would, you know, they'd give in, realizing that jobs are more important. However, I must say that if we just legalize it today, imagine how many small businesses would start, because that's not necessarily something that corporations could do, because a lot of these big entities were so against it to the point where people might look and say, well, now you're willing to profit. So I think that that'll employ a lot of people as well, because when the businesses start, those people who have expertise but perhaps have criminal records and their lives have been ruined because of our system, they can now get jobs where their expertise is better than anyone else, or someone who's gone to college for that, you wouldn't even need a high school diploma. There's so many people that I've met who, I, in my opinion, are masters at the craft. Um, you know, so hopefully something will happen. And I understand that legalization is a far way off simply because of the international treaty that America had everyone sign. But you know, maybe if we just put our tails between our legs and bow out gracefully to save some face, then perhaps everyone else will say, finally, now we can make it an international trade. And if nothing else, at least bring hemp back. I mean, that's what we used to make rope and things of that nature. So hopefully, there'll be some progress. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone believes that will happen. And it's kind of sad that the American people look at the president on a specific issue, but they fully expect to not be answered or to be answered with a laugh. So, hopefully things will go our way, but I doubt it. I'm a pessimist, or a realist, I should say, because realistically, our government doesn't listen to us. So, at the end of the day, it's really all in our hands. We have the power to change things. So hopefully, people will really, email and send letters to their congressmen and representatives and all of that. Every time the State of the Union asks the president, there's really a distraction. The president can't do anything besides be a PR guy. I mean, if he actively said, let's legalize it, then really it would be, Congress would have no reason not to do it anymore. But he's never going to do that. He's basically an international figurehead. He's just to go to other countries, talk about what we did good and talking points. He really, I honestly, I mean, no offense to the president. It's just like, I feel like his job is lessened than, say, 200 years ago. Now it seems to me like he's so concerned with not saying the wrong thing that everything is so planned that he just looks robotic, even though, I mean, he may try to seem like our savior, but he's really not, and I don't think he ever was or will be. And it was partially our fault for voting in this rigged system, and partially the system's fault for allowing a two-party system to exist. So hopefully, we'll get someone in there who will just rock the foundation, change everything fundamentally. And after the fundamental changes, then perhaps the American people can actually vote for the popular candidate, if nothing more. I'm not saying we need to abolish everything, but at least let the popular candidate have a better chance of winning. It shouldn't be so, oh, I don't know. It shouldn't, even though I don't think Al Gore would have been a better president than George Bush, I certainly feel like he should have won simply because of the fact that more people voted for him, even in the skewed system that we have. So, with that, I am done. Yosemite 4000 out.